In 1928, a young artist by the name of Robert Dorr became aware of the fact that all skin tones contain an undertone mixture of either blue or yellow. At that time, he was working for Chicago movie theaters, preparing and mixing paints for the movie posters. This is when he noticed that in some cases the pigmentation would be peachy, while for others it would be pink or rosy. Meanwhile, the movie industry was transitioning from black and white to color films. It wasn't easy, because no one really understood how to use color and they desperately needed people that had new ideas. In the middle 1950s, they called Robert Dorr in and asked him to figure out what color of clothing they should choose for the actors. They wanted to know how and what colors would make the actors appear beautiful or ugly, sad or happy, strong or weak. The method that Robert Dorr used was quite simple. He created a wide range of colorful paper boards with a hole in the middle. Then he would ask the cast to place their faces inside the color boards for the examination. He had noticed that a person could look wonderful with one color and old and sick with another, and it mostly depended on the undertone of their skin, hair, eyes, and even teeth. This experiment and further studies helped him to establish that people that have a warm undertone look their best in colors that also have a warm yellow undertone. People that have a cold undertone look great in colors that have a cold blue undertone. Later, Robert Dorr managed to develop special color palettes to provide choice and variety for each skin tone and to help with creating the many effects required by the film industry. He became the first image consultant that could create an image that suits or not an individual depending on the required look. Since then, his color analysis methods and palettes were being used in the creation of almost every movie. Thanks to his observation, the color of clothing became a very powerful tool that could easily express a character's status, mood, habits, and physical features. The movie industry wasn't the only industry that benefited from the work of Robert Dorr. His ideas spread further into interior design, advertising, and of course, fashion and cosmetics. For example, the seasonal color typology was based on the Robert Dorr's color key system, but instead of two types of people, it was divided into 4 seasons. Spring and autumn were the warm types, winter and summer were the cold types. The reference to 4 seasons came from Swiss-born artist and art educator Johannes Itten. In his book Art of Color, he explains how all colors can be divided into subjective and objective. Subjective colors are the aura of the person, colors that are in harmony with the natural coloration of a person. The seasonal color typology was based on science, logic, and objectivity. It became very popular in the late 70s and of course evolved further and became more and more precise with time. Nowadays, it's still used by image consultants, fashion designers, stylists, and costume designers all around the world. And obviously by me as well. Let's take a look at some examples based on Dorr's and Etten's methods. One of my favorite movies where color typology was used to define the characters is Broken Embraces from 2009 from the famous director Pedro Almodovar. Here we can see that Lena's character is going through a life-changing adventure. At first, she starts off as the good young professional. Her natural color type is winter, so they chose dark gray to subtly suggest that. But you can see that later on, for example in this scene here, the character has already evolved. She got married to an old rich guy she didn't love, and she looks now more confident, slightly older, and of course wealthier. That's why the colors of her wardrobe have evolved into bright red, navy or black. Another wardrobe change happens when Lena falls in love with the movie director and runs away with him. Her style now is softer, younger, and more romantic. The color palette is slightly different as well. Notice how the wardrobe color change still fits to her natural color type. If you know your color typology, it suddenly becomes very easy to know what colors flatter you and which colors don't. You suddenly know what colors you can play with and how to mix them together to say different things about your personality. It should come to no surprise to those of you who are my students that the Wonder Wardrobe method is also based on the seasonal color typology. I think it's quite important to know what colors suit you and how to combine them together to create harmonious and pleasant looks. It also helps to add more functionality to your wardrobe and significantly increase the amount of interchangeable outfits. If you want to learn more about it, I suggest you take class 2 from the Wonder Wardrobe course called Color Harmony. That's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe for more tricks and tips that will help you save money and look your best while helping the planet. See you in the next one.